All right, welcome everyone. We're Semblance of Sanity. I'm Caleb.
I'm Jacob.
And we're here for
Orb on the Movements of the Earth, Episode 2.
Rafal has been taught that, this geocentrism thing, it's not very beautiful.
No.
It's not very kawaii.
I do not wish to live in a world that is not beautiful.
God,
okay. Well, all right.
Hubert, if that is your real name.
You may have voluntold Rafal for this mission, but I mean, I think he's properly inspired now.
Yeah, it almost feels a little bit like suspect that the teacher, priest, father figure guy sent him here. If he's like, I don't want you to get into astronomy.
That was a long time ago, and you know, after all, Hubert isn't into that research anymore. He's recanted. You know, that was a long time ago.
I don't think we've gotten into that yet. But if he's getting to spend time with this guy, and it's even remotely obvious, this is not...
It's going to be a problem.
It's not going to be a good thing for you, buddy.
No.
But, God, I'm inspired. I'm inspired to get fascinated about astronomy again. This is just episode 1 done as well.
Yeah.
How much more so are we going to get into this, in just the course of the show? I'm so excited to be a student again almost.
Oh, sure. Well, I'm also just excited for that. I don't know how necessarily it's going to go, right? But I imagine there could be that sort of cat and mouse kind of okay, we have to do this, but we have to keep it a secret, right?
Right.
And
we have to
the research that we do
from the church,
right?
Yeah.
And the research that we do, well, it requires some very obvious movements, right?
Yes.
We need to go far out away from everything,
right,
for a while.
Right.
That doesn't just happen,
Yeah, and those sleepless nights start to get a little bit more obvious, Rafal, over time.
Right.
So, yeah, y'all, without further ado, let's get into this.
Oh.
Oh, this is good.
Okay.
Give us the reasons, yeah. Yeah, sure. Oh, so you're going for that. There's no logic to that.
Yeah.
Sure. The third one especially is bringing... Yeah.
Yeah. Okay.
Whoa.
Because it's furthering the question.
Uh-huh. Oh. Well, then I will start to do... I don't want to. It has nothing to do with whether or not you will actually show up,
Right.
Whoa. He just had it proved, his whole thought proved wrong just with the way his head rotated like that. Yep, you could test this. You could test this.
He's like, wait a minute. Right.
Oh, there's so many cool tricks you can do with your perception of things if you turn yourself upside down. Oh, that's so cool.
Yeah.
And now he's in the books. Yeah. Whoa. I love it. Trying to draw it out
the next day.
Damn. Oh.
Nope.
Well. Oh.
Cool.
Oh, are these like church inquisitors or like,
I think so.
wait. Or are we gonna get a
An
time
epic?
skip?
Well, I think so.
I wonder if the guy with the eye patch is older Rafal.
Yeah, I was thinking that too.
ここ数日さらに精度が上がっている。 何かあった。
神を否定したいのですか？
逆だ。神を信じるからやるのだ。
Yeah, all that like stuff is being predicated upon lies. So
神が作ったこの世界は
yeah,
きっと何よりも美しい。
fun.
知性だけ携えて、私のこの小さな当該の中で神の偉業を理解してみせる。自然を読むのだ。
Oh,
Okay.
I read nature.
怖くはないのですか？
Yeah,
怖い。
yeah.
Sure.
観測は今日で終わりだ。
Ah, he's been caught.
一人で続ける方法を見つけ
Oh,
天文をやれ。自分のために。まあ、これは提案だ。
yeah. Still, you have free
Right.
will. Do whatever you want. Yeah,
And that's probably good because this guy's going to get caught.
yeah. Absolutely.
So only going out, the 2 times, that's easy to excuse.
He's probably been doing what he can to compile his stuff into like a method of storage that it'll outlive him, you know? Oh.
You burned those papers you wrote last night, right?
Oh, and his
He's still got the
arm is
blood stain.
bloody, yeah.
フベルトさんは立派に更生してつつましく暮らしてますよ。
探偵二度使うのは絶対死刑だからさ。それにかくまった協力者も重罪。
Oh no. They already suspect something.
Yeah.
僕も愚かな異端は許せない。
お、そりゃ心が。
Oh, yes,
Yeah.
yes.
なんでさ。何これ。
You left that in your room, my guy.
Oh my god.
Oh, shit.
何これ。
Wow.
それは私のもの。
Oh.
フベルトさん。
その子供の部屋に隠せば見つかりず。
Wow.
正直に言ってください。本当にこれはあなたのものですか？
もちろん私のもの。
すまなかったね、ラファル君。では、フベルトを連行しろ。
これを君に渡しに来たんだ。
Whoa.
フベルトさん、やり残したことは？
たった今やったよ。
Oh. I passed it on. Yeah.
Okay.
そしてフ
It
ベル
will
トさん
outlive me.
焼かれて死んだ。
Jeez.
All right.
First, like 5 minutes of the
Yeah.
episode.
Okay.
Bro, you gotta be way more careful.
Yeah, so much more careful. Like that.
相手は異端者とはいえ。
And they're gonna be watching you too.
Oh, absolutely.
あの岩と山の位置がオリオンのベルトと似通う。
There's something in those mountains over there. Wait a minute. He had a way to do this. He had
Yeah.
a way to do this by himself.
Oh, that's
So he
fantastic.
had been building probably some kind of an observatory or
Yeah,
some
yeah.
kind of. You got to be very careful, dude. They're gonna be watching you or
Yeah,
following you.
doing this right after is
Oh shoot! Yeah, so it's just
Okay.
everything he's compiled.
yeah.
Yeah, so he had a drop spot basically.
ぶしつけな前置きで申し訳ないが、
Whoa!
Okay.
私はあなたが誰だか知らない。
It could have been anybody.
最も信用のおける者にネックレスを託すことにして以下の書物は私の人生を捧げた地動説のす
Oh my
Okay.
gosh! And he
All
never
right.
gave this stuff up.
どうかこのすべてを燃やしてほしい。
Oh.
私は誰より地動説に接近した自信がある。 地動説はおそらく証明できない。
Okay.
There are certain things that you don't know right now that makes it hard to prove. That's true.
しかし私は未練がましく燃やす勇気を持てず、さらに傲慢に私より優れた人間に焼却されることを望む。
Well, well, well.
What are you gonna read it first?
私の直感より説得し、あなたならやれる。依頼報酬は箱に同封した。
確かに地動説はすごいアイデアだ。でもあまりに危険で不適切で。
Yeah.
何より不確かだ。僕の理屈は書物を燃やした。
Wow. Okay.
燃やす理屈なんかより僕の直感は地動説を信じたい。
Okay.
Oh.
名残惜しいがラファルは今日をもって
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
しかし来期からは大学だ。みんな大学で何を学ぶのがふさわしい。
Oh, yes. Theology. Yeah.
もう会えなくなりますが、みんなに神のご加護があらんことを祈っています。僕は天文を学びます。
Whoa.
本当の僕は清廉でも
Okay.
謙虚でも有力でもなく、
No, definitely not humble. Yeah.
そして今から地球を動かす。
Oh my gosh. He's gonna
I-
do it. He's
okay.
gonna do it. Okay. Huh? Huh?
ありがとうございます。
道端で子供が泣いてちゃ
Of
Our
course.
merciless torture inquisitor catching a ball out of a tree for a
With
small
one
child.
of his torture implements.
Yeah.
何をするつもりですか。私には子供が。
本当ですか。実は私にも娘が。ほらこれ娘からの手紙。いつも調べてるんですよ。我が子への愛が私の生きる理由です。あの子には辛い思いをしてほしく。
That fear. Talking about it the way Hubert did.
けど家族、友人の日々の信仰や生活を守るためなら何だってする。じゃあ君ここの子だったの。
They let the kid in?
100万周回の場所は
Oh, so he didn't.
あとは任せる。
Yeah, he did give it up. Okay.
ノバクさんは出家せず在族である。
Oh, he's not technically a priest.
Oh, wow.
Fun. Whoa. Oh, cool.
Okay.
I think it's more the idea that because they see themselves as holy men, it needs to be someone good to do these, you know,
Sure.
to do these things. Jeez.
Okay.
What a fun contradiction there.
進学をやめたどころか、よりにもよって天文を学ぶなんて。
Yeah, I'm excited to see their dynamic.
だった衝撃で気が動転してるだけ
Yeah, kinda actually.
しない限り、私はこの入学許可書
Oh, whoa.
正直に打ち明け、巧みに説得し、解決するのは至難の業だ。
Right. So what's your angle going to be? He's like,
了解です。宣言します。天文は二度としません。普通に嘘を。
yeah,
言葉では何とでも言える。
yeah.
嘘ほど便利なものはない。
Right. You kind of did step right into it, though, with that
Well,
bold
yeah,
declaration.
he's rash. That's the point, is that
Yeah.
進学で入学しても、後で天文に編入できる。
because of his pride, he's not, like, looking at this as
本末転
subtly as he could be.
それにしても、父さんはあれほど天文を毛嫌いしているのに、
Cool. Calling him father, okay.
どうしてこの家にはこんなに資料があるんだろう。
Yeah, and specifically, again, he pushed you towards Hubert.
Oh.
Seems odd.
Yeah.
Okay.
All right.
The history is alive in this fiction right now. Like I feel so connected to humanity right now. This is a good anime. I'm having a lot of fun right now.
I've never been a history person, you know? And I've never even really been an astronomy person. And so it's nice to get this like in-depth look into things. I like the way that they're making Rafal not as straightforward of a protagonist as I originally thought he'd be. He is, for all his intelligence, he is also a total dumbass.
He's
And
arrogant. He doesn't think
Right.
that he's capable of making a mistake in a lot of ways.
Right,
So,
exactly. And that's something that is
going to bite him in the ass.
right, exactly.
Yeah.
It's something that both makes me interested and invested to see the ways in which that will happen because, you know, he's 12 here, right? So of course he doesn't think to burn his notebook, you know. Of course he just loudly declares, yeah, no, I'm not going to do theology. I'm going to do astronomy. There will be surely no consequences to this. Oh, wait, hey, hang on. No, I can't do that. I need to actually get into university still. My father could, could keep that from happening, right? While at the same time being able to be like, no, I do kind of understand how this stuff works.
Yeah.
I am going to figure this out. You know, I'm going to honor the wishes and burn all the materials, but I am going to dedicate my life to this.
Right.
Okay. Okay.
It's exciting. Having him be in this place where he is grappling with heliocentrism being something that does stimulate his excitement, his intuition, but being someone that based most of his life decisions on rational thought, he's grappling with the, wait, but my gut is pulling me towards this, but rational thought would say, be very afraid. There's some very specific consequences that come about of you like exploring this. And you just saw the effects of that with how Hubert just ended up getting executed and killed and burned, you know, for his
heresy.
For his heresy. Yeah, exactly. But in some ways, he also gave you a mission. In some ways, he also passed along everything that he had, you know, acquired to you, and then trusted you to destroy it. Now, we don't know 100% whether or not he, like, looked at, read any of it before destroying it.
Yeah.
But in some ways, the passing along of it so that the chain of people hunting him for this stuff ending here, and that the person would effectively have been taught all the stuff that he had probably spent years and years kind of debating and kind of spinning in circles surrounding.
And that's where
you know.
I'm curious if there's like little details or whatever that got cut from the source material, or if this is really how it is, because that's what I would have expected it to be in the. Here's all the stuff I have. This is way too dangerous to keep. So after you read it and understand it, burn it, right?
Right, and
but
I think that
wasn't stated. It was
keep going.
And it also didn't look like he actually read it beforehand because they didn't make any mention of that. But then he did start stomping out the fire afterwards. So is that he like managed to save some of it, or just?
He's just putting out the fire.
I'm not entirely sure.
Yeah,
but
and they're leaving that up in the air for now. But I think that it's fun that he, at the very least, commanded him to do this, so that there wouldn't be any trail in this regard. So, fun. Rafal being entrusted basically with the secrets of the world, secrets of the universe in this regard has got to feel very monumental for the boy, but also would kind of potentially feed into his ego of like, I've got this great secret.
Oh, yeah.
And so the idea that then most of his mistakes from here on out are based on pride makes sense. But the question of, if this is something that's so dangerous and so, you know, reviled by those that are in power with the church and stuff.
Yeah.
Why is my father, their study like filled with astronomy books?
Right. Which that's a very specific bit of information that is going to be important to follow up on, and
saying specifically like don't,
right. And And that's
do
where
you think it's maybe that the dad, because it's more like an adopted dad, not an actual dad,
right, exactly.
Do you think he had been basically visited at some point and was basically said like, hey, yeah, we're not going to go and destroy all this good material here, but we would prefer if you kept your hobby to yourself.
Right. So there's a few questions I have. One, what is the church's official stance on astronomy?
Geocentrism.
No. Not what they believe is the correct observation of things, but their stance on studying astronomy. Because the father has said, don't study astronomy. That might be him specifically.
Yes. So we can infer a couple things here. One, astronomy is capable of being studied, which means people are teaching astronomy.
Sure.
But it's more the point that to the church, and this is, I think, very much a thing in the real world as well, astronomy was solved at this point. So
Sure.
there's not really any great ways to progress in the world by studying basically something that, oh yeah, we figured it out. Like we've got the answers. So it's more like you're getting more detailed diagrams about this super complex movements of the stars, but you're not actually exploring from their perspective like new territory.
Right.
It's more you're more finely outlining all the territory.
Well,
you
and
know?
the information that he has a bunch of books on astronomy, that puts a different light on him basically saying don't study astronomy, right? Which makes me think, given that he had a connection to Hubert and things like that,
Right.
that he
knew, and he probably just kept
exactly.
it. He probably just kept it secret.
Yeah.
But that means that he sent Rafal to Hubert, knowing that.
Right. And that also covers up one of the other angles that I think we've got here.
Yeah.
In that, with all of the stupid shit that Rafal's done so far, it makes sense for him to get caught. And that's where a part of me is like, I want to feel more tension than I currently do, because I feel like he isn't being a very good mouse right now.
No, this is his beginning of his story where he's a kid and he's having his idyllic, like, whoa, the wonder of it all.
Exactly.
But we very clearly saw in the opening somebody that looks like an older version of him
That
with
is missing
scars
an eye. Yeah.
all over his face and missing an eye.
Right. And
so it's
so-
probably we're going to mark you up the same way we did Hubert so people will
Right.
know you're a heretic who recanted, and then we'll be watching you.
And that's
for
where
that
I
second
think
time.
And that's where I think the father character does know a lot more than he's letting on. And he's specifically protecting Rafal.
Yeah.
And that's why Rafal hasn't been got yet, and why it might take a while before he gets got. Because he's doing you said that in the classroom, right? Like, I have to make sure that you recant, right? Like, or, retract that statement, right? Like, there's some problematic stuff that's going on that I need
you
to
don't know
basically
about, yeah.
that I need to basically clean up the trail for, right?
Right.
And it's not just that I specifically want you to do, theology instead of astronomy, right?
And it might not even be that, like, he's super scared about the way in which this will directly affect Rafal. It could be just the ways in which it reflects on him.
Sure.
And it's the thing of like, oh, I'm so excited to have this adopted son be basically a, fervor-filled, faith, led, religious boy. But instead it's damn it, I was like hoping that you wouldn't get into that. But then, you keep all this stuff in your office. I would love to see the way in which this world has that whole, church thought police kind of setup here where it's you have all these books here, Now, he probably has other books as well. He's an educator.
Right, and the books are probably all, are definitely all going at it with the
approved.
Geocentric.
Oh, they're church approved for sure.
Yeah.
The books in this era in general would just be a very precious thing to begin with.
Sure.
Rafal is definitely a privileged boy in that,
absolutely.
he walks around in his very nice coat while, people starve in the streets next to him.
Yeah, exactly.
And then gets to, like, casually have access to books and paper and all this stuff. But Yeah, astronomy is not some banned science
Right.
in any way. It's more that the church probably doesn't reward well astronomers because, from their perspective, you're not adding anything to their overall power.
Right. And
studying it.
And that's where I wonder if the approach that Rafal has adopted of like knowing how to basically be a people pleaser, right?
Right.
And have the smile and say the right things. There's a part of me that feels like the father would be aware of that and potentially have a vested interest
He's an
in
adult.
educating him to be like that, because it's especially if he's doing any kind of protection of him, then it's yes, you saying the right things. Is it because your faith is devout, or just because you know that's how you like work this world that you're in, right?
I mean, that's how most people work this world.
Like,
yeah.
and so, yes, I'm absolutely
it's
going
true.
to reward that behavior.
Yeah.
Yes, I'm going to try and cultivate it and also reprimand when you do the opposite.
But I don't
right?
think that's some great conspiracy. I really do think that's just the way the world works. Like most people, when they're going into an interview, they present only the best side of themselves. They present specifically their curated things there, and that's why a lot of that stuff will be used to try and unsettle your base so that you are forced into
let
ambiguity.
down the facade.
Yeah, exactly. But that's what sales is. That's what marketing is. That's what most, if all, like economic dealings is posturing and lying. And
and that's the real thing that's
yeah.
basically being taught at the school. Yes, there's the other things that they're teaching the kids and all that stuff, but the reason why Rafal is being propped up like this, yes, he is brilliant.
Yes,
and
he's
also
actually really smart.
He is really smart. And also, it's that he knows what to say, and that's what they really want the kids to learn, is how to basically fall in line, right?
Yeah, be enthusiastic about it.
Yeah, exactly.
Because they themselves are a example for their future generations, and that's how you mold a culture and mold a people, and it gets really creepy at that point. So fun. Now we have an opening. There's very much going to be some kind of a time skip.
Oh yeah.
There's some very clear adult characters that look like the characters that we've already seen thus far. Was it Navok? Or what was the Inquisitor's name? The part where they end up commenting on like, wait, he's Novak.
Yeah.
It's the German Eastern European W, so Novak. Yeah. But he never joined the clergy. He's he's just a guy. But the bishop has a special favor towards him in some way, which is
good to know.
That's interesting.
Yeah.
Okay.
And we also saw somebody with a really dope falcata in the OP that looks like it could definitely be him after some time skip or whatever. Which, cool. I like that we have a specific face as an antagonist for someone to, for Rafal to look out for. And, oh my God, he already was like on your trail specifically, and Hubert had to save you, even to the point then where Hubert also, right in front of this guy, is like, hey, I'm, being taken away to be executed. Here's a thing that I'm going to leave to you specifically. It's like, oh man.
Yeah, I do think, though, that, if you're going to die, basically, giving a token to a boy that basically was taking care of you during that time doesn't immediately infer any kind of stuff like that.
Yeah, I imagine to be an effective Inquisitor, there would be that level of like,
don't work overtime.
Well, don't work
find
overtime.
Ghosts in your own shadow.
Yeah, exactly. Right. It's the.
This guy goes home to a family.
Have a level of discernment where it's the okay. This is somebody I need to take care of versus maybe being a bit overzealous.
Right. There's a difference between having a suspicious eye versus living a suspicious lifestyle.
Sure.
If he basically looks at things twice in general, that's just being pretty perceptive and pretty suspicious. But if he was to then actively live that out, he would have trouble raising a daughter. Like,
and in a lot of ways, it's the fear of the people like him that help keep people in line, which
Right.
is something that he is very much about. So this little kid, did he have some material? Was it his potentially? Possibly. But would this, like, on the
is there
off
anything
chance
that I can prove right now that it's a problem? No.
Yeah,
No.
and even if it is, and this dude's covering for him, will this be an effective enough lesson that
Yeah.
this kid's not going to be a problem?
Right.
Yeah, absolutely.
Yeah.
I can tell that this kid is scared shitless. You know, right?
Yeah.
Like,
Absolutely.
I got no problem. All right, I can go back home.
In some ways, that's my favorite part about Novak is that he doesn't seem to revel in this. He doesn't seem to have any like great
Yeah.
glee of like I'm doing this. No, he's just like, oh, this is going to be a lot of paperwork. Like, oh, if
Right,
anything,
it's
it's the dispassionate way that he goes
Right.
about this, showing that he is not of the faith. He is not
Yeah.
of the church.
This is just another day at work.
He is just cashing in the paycheck.
Mm-hmm.
And thus, he's even scarier because he's going to think more rationally than someone who's blinded by religion and stuff is going to.
Exactly.
Yeah.
Yeah. And he's not gonna have some obsession with Rafal of like, oh, I need to get this kid.
Yeah,
you
yeah,
know?
yeah.
Or, no. It's just okay if I end up seeing
Oh, you again.
right.
Studying astronomy. Well, that's ballsy.
Interesting. you know?
That's fun. I hope you're keeping everything above board. You know?
Right, exactly. You know, yeah, it's yeah.
You know?
it's the when he sees him again, he'll be like, you know, right?
Good to see you, kid.
Yeah.
yeah.
Will I be seeing you again? You know,
Yeah,
right?
yeah.
Like,
If
yeah.
not, Johnny, you know?
yeah. Exactly.
I love the potential rivalry for them, especially if we get an older Rafal. That would be awesome.
Oh, yeah.
But
If-
I also really like the idea of Rafal getting caught at like a younger age, though.
Oh,
Like,
yeah.
not necessarily
No,
getting clear of this and having the like, oh, you think I won't like torture you just because you're a kid?
Yeah.
Oh no.
Yeah.
You don't get it.
And
You
in
don't
fact,
get-
it's better that we caught you when you were a kid because kids
Right.
are a lot easier to change, you know? So
Yeah.
this is for your own good.
yeah. I am very scared for the way in which Rafal is treating this so in such a blasé manner.
Oh, yeah. He's very cavalier.
Right, and I like that he directly almost addresses it. Like, I'm rash, I'm arrogant, I'm reckless.
Yeah, it's like, all right,
It's
good
like,
job.
yes,
you figured
okay,
that
good.
out.
You're aware, so
That's the first step.
Yep.
Yeah, all right.
But all right, y'all. Thank you so much for watching this episode's reaction and discussion. If you want to see the next episode's reaction and discussion right now, though, go check out the link in the description below for our Patreon. You get an early access there. You can watch full-length timer reactions there, and all this comes with Discord access, so you can chat with us in the community there about this show, about anime in general, and also be sure to check out our Twitch channel. So yeah, if any of that interests you, we'll see you there. But until then, we're Semblance of Sanity. I'm Caleb,
I'm Jacob.
and we'll see you all next time.